Obviously, parents constantly being out of the home, whether it be working hard, 3 jobs or whatever, and so it has taken impact on me as well. I see it. Like sometimes I take a step back and I actually realise, Saya comes home, Daddy, straight away, oh, let's do this, and I feel like
you're tired.
Yeah, mentally as well. It's like
drained. You have to muster up the energy to
exactly.
Yeah.
This boy is so like I'm grateful that he's active, proactive. He can do things, not just a lazy child that sits around and just nothing, whatever. Yeah. He keeps me on my toes. He keeps me out of that bad habit, which probably was, attained from my parents in a sense where they were always out, not always interacting and so on. Because again, I don't remember literally sitting down with my parents, or my mum, I should say, and just having that family time, just chilling and whatever. It was maybe just when we...
To my beautiful girls, your smiles warm my heart. You turn bad days into good evenings. I promise to listen, to share, to guide, to provide, to protect, to love. All that is mine is yours. This is Stories by Emeka, the Fatherhood series.
Ade, what you saying, my brother?
All good, my man.
Welcome.
All good.
All right, Mr. Golf. I'm looking to learn something from you today. Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Let's see.
You're up first. You know how this goes. But before we go any further, you know that we've got a leaderboard going.
Yeah, I saw that. That number looks bad, but yeah.
Don't worry about me right now. Lee, top of the guest list.
195.
At least you can do 92. So you're not last.
I'm smashing it. I've got confidence. I'm smashing it.
Right.
I told you from before, I'm smashing it. If I flop a few times, it's practicing, but once I get my mojo on...
No one here's an expert, you know what I mean? But yeah, while you're having your first few shots, warm-up shots, my first question to you is while you're warming up is 3 words to describe yourself as a father.
Oh,
let me get a hold of this.
How can I say it? I think I'm learning, adaptable.
Okay. Learning, adaptable. One more. Give us one more.
Let's see. I'll say compassionate.
Compassionate.
Yeah, compassionate.
Okay. All right. We're gonna come back and dissect that.
All right, cool.
Let's just see what you're bringing to the table. I can already tell if someone's gonna beat records today.
What do you think? What? I'm not capable, yeah?
No. I think you're capable. I think you might.
Let's see. What are we
I
getting?
think you can get at least 4th place.
4th place.
At least 161. That's what I'm.
All right, look, I'm gonna lie to you. I had a few shots, it was a bit off, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see. Oh, it's been a while. Back as well, Oh, mate.
Listen, you just entered your 30s. Let me know how you back. What you talking about? Back.
All right, let's get this.
Okay.
I don't know where that went exactly. Let's see where that went.
Okay, beating Ade. Beating Baller. Oh, you're off guard.
Come on.
You're off.
I'm off.
Yeah.
But 27, I told you, bro.
If you get that straight.
I know if I get it, listen, it's all about the win, accuracy and that, but listen, I'm smashing it.
227, all right.
227.
It doesn't count.
All right,
it went off.
Cool.
Off guard. Take your You got 4 in a row.
Just need to get that accuracy on now. Let's see.
Okay, so you've got the
technique. It went that way.
Yeah, it went right. So you need to adjust your body.
Let me give it this way.
See what? But that was a hit though.
Yeah, bro. I told you. Probably get 300. Okay.
It's like my record might be today.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's off.
You clipped the floor.
That's way out there.
Yeah.
Flop that one. Look at it again.
Yeah, it's gone.
And it's less as well. Come on, let's get this accuracy.
Get on the board, bruv. Like literally, you need to just hit it straight.
All right, cool.
Warm up swings. Back.
That was a flop.
Yeah, 2 more.
Let's go. Come on, Addy, come on.
Right. At this rate,
Yay!
at this rate, I don't know.
Yay!
I don't know.
Come on, why was the first one off? Let's go.
That's as good as it gets.
It can't, bro, it can't.
Okay, that's low and out there bouncing. And that had strong wind with it as well.
Look at that. She.
You've not registered a score.
She.
You haven't registered a score yet.
It's the wind as well, man.
Listen, no excuses.
Why is it swinging to the right? What the hell was this?
Off guard, off target, off base.
It's the wind.
Listen, when I come and I hit my shot,
So what, you're hitting off the green, you're saying?
yeah, and I'm hitting it in range.
All right, let me give you a little set. Let's try this one. On the green, yeah?
Yeah,
It's the wind though, you see it.
you're swerving it away.
Yeah. You picked the wrong day, bro.
Listen,
You see?
my hair.
When I was watching other videos,
Listen, just like football, bend it like Beckham, hit it that way and so it can swerve on.
anticipate the
Yeah.
thing, yeah? All right, let's go.
Your last shot of this round.
It's swaying again, you see? And I would have finished it. Swaying again.
So yeah, Ade,
Yo,
how many children do you have?
one boy.
One boy, yeah?
A blessing of my life, I should say.
How old is he?
5, gonna be 6 next month, April.
Yeah?
Well, May, sorry.
So you've been
come
doing
on,
this
come on.
fatherhood thing for a good few years now.
Yeah, man, I'm learning, you know, every process, every step.
So when you said, so that was one of the words that you included in your description of yourself. So talk to me about that in terms of learning. What are you still learning? What is the last thing you learned around sort of being a father, and how are you learning? Are you seeking out knowledge, or is it just when it comes, it comes?
I think for me, it's because obviously growing up as a child not around with the father consistently and so on,
Yeah.
I've had to obviously adapt and learn from different people and probably to see how things work. I feel like also the type of person I am, I'm very, how can I say, stern with my ways.
Yeah.
Like once I say, okay, this is what I want to do,
Yeah.
argumentative and so on,
Yeah.
I like my way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might bend to adapt to other people's, you know, situations, depending if obviously I care and so on. So I think with me, it's because, again, not having that sort of foundation of having a constant father, you know, around me and so on,
Yeah.
predominantly just my mum being around and just seeing other people with their parents, is like, okay, how can I do things the way I want it to be, what I feel is right,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So like, even certain things where he might act in a certain way, okay, how can I tackle that situation?
Yeah.
Like, my dad wasn't around to obviously lecture me and show me ways and so on.
Yeah.
But I remember my mum obviously being there telling me don't do certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a person or as a man now, how can I make sure he grows in a way where I feel it's acceptable?
Yeah.
It might not be acceptable again, because remember, it's my perception of things, innit?
Yeah.
And no one's perception is always right,
Yeah.
in that sense. So that's why I think I'm adaptable and I want to learn.
Yeah.
I'll make mistakes with him at times when I'm a bit aggressive or, you know, impatient with him. But yeah, it's just slow and steady, I guess.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
So at the point so how old were you when you first became a father?
I was 24?
24?
Yeah, 24.
That seems like the common age. A lot of people had, I was 24,
Yeah.
a few other people have been sort of around that ages as well.
Yeah.
But Did you feel ready? What were the feelings?
No.
When you got the news, how
Listen, when I tell you the story behind this whole situation, it was a blessing, honestly. Like, even now, I remember I tell you, I've now become a born again, thank God, you know, with the grace of God, taking that new journey. And I was religious then, I would say more religious then than I was in the last couple of years and so on. Always listening to Bible, even at work, just playing the Bible in the background and things like that. Having a certain, you know, way of belief and, you know, thinking right. And yeah, again, I never feel like anyone can plan for pregnancies and things like that. Obviously, if you're together with your partner and it does happen and you're willing to obviously accept the blessing, because it is a blessing anyway, it's now how do you obviously move on with it. And with her situation, it was more of a medical situation now. You know, the one thing I will always say, I won't be an advocate for contraception pills at all, because from my experience and her experience, I feel like it kind of changed her whole situation. You know, even like trying to have a child now, it basically causing a lot of issues and so on, which is obviously, I feel, a factor. But then finding that little man was there and so on, I first remember speaking to my mum and was like, well, if I told you that I was gonna have a child, how would you feel about that? Because again, I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what to expect. We was doing what we knew the outcome, what it was gonna be, but at the same time, it's like, did we plan for it? We never planned for it, but we accepted it as a blessing, because
no doubt
there's factors within that stage to the point of birth was all in God's hands. Like finding out, okay, she's pregnant, getting their scan, doctors telling you, or telling her, I should say, it's a scientific term called black ovary, where the sac is empty basically, and potentially could be a situation the baby doesn't develop and so on. And I'm thinking, I was angry, like, in the sense, like, raw, what is this? And I feel like with God's blessing again, because again, I had a lot of faith as well, I was more like to her foundation, her solid ground, keeping her stern in the whole situation. Because I remember there was even a time we were planning to go gym, and we used to go gym every time and so on. So she came downstairs, waiting for her to come up. She didn't answer a call. I'm thinking, okay, what's the issue? So she's now getting emotional and so on. I was like, what's the problem? She don't want to answer the call. So I looked out my window, I see her, she's downstairs, and I see my phone's ringing on the dashboard or whatnot. So I said, you know what, let me go downstairs. She's crying and so on. She's obviously getting emotional, thinking, whatever they're saying is all true. I said to her, listen, you can't have that mindset. Whatever these doctors are telling you and so on, it's not the final thing. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like, with God's blessings, but listen, I believe it's gonna happen. I believe it. I don't know what the outcome's gonna be, but I know it's gonna be a positive outcome. And obviously going through the procedure steps, getting extra scans and so on, and then them telling you that, look, it's two options. Either it becomes a miscarriage, where she just naturally obviously loses it, or they will have to physically, you know, get rid of it. I was like, no way. Like, I'm not that type of person, like, to just give up in any way, naturally. And that happening, then waited, I think it was a period of time where they said, okay, you're gonna have to do another test to see what the outcome's gonna be. The test is gonna say you're pregnant naturally, but it's gonna be those two options. So going for that test, they said it was pregnant, fine, went for the scan. And even with this whole, I don't know how you felt when you was going through your situation with your partner, being there through the pregnancy. Did you feel included in the whole process as when they scan her, when they talk to her and all that stuff? Like, it's predominantly just directed to her. You're just you're a shadow in the room. Bro, listen, I'm in the room and
you've hit a nail in the head that I haven't thought about until this moment. Bro, I've been in those situations, and I'm like, I feel like the Uber driver that just came and it just extended the visit. Listen. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was just a cab driver that just brought it in, sat there, a chauffeur in a sense, and just said, go home. And I'm thinking, I'm part of it as well. Without me, it would have not happened. There's only been one occasion that's happened, Mary, and that's it, bro. It's not gonna ever happen. You know what I'm saying?
But I guess from the perspective of when all of this stuff is happening, and it's happening within her body. So I guess if I'm going to their defense, it's like, they were always going to direct the conversation at her. But like you're saying, we're still also in the room. This affects us too.
Exactly.
Her health is
Exactly.
our health.
Exactly.
The baby's health is our health.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
As I said, remember, I was there consoling her, making sure that she was positive throughout the whole time, never having negative doubts and all these other issues that they were painting and so on. I feel like, listen, I don't believe in that. It's not going to happen. So when I'm in a room and that whole situations happen when they're obviously checking up on her and not being included in the situation, thinking, okay, I'm her support system at the same time. Like, I'm there for a reason. I didn't come. It's not no one of them stupid situations where someone knocks someone off and they're just like, oh, whatever. We're in a relationship. That's my partner, you know what I'm saying? I want to find out what's going on. This is my potential child. It is going to be my child and so on. But then when they had her on the bed and so on, and they were scanning her, I remember it was like as you just said, like, I'm in a dark room in the corner. The light is over there, I'm just in the shadow while they're doing whatever it is, discussing with her. And then obviously the doctors then said to her, look, if I told you that there was a pregnancy, how would you feel and so on? And she's gone, yeah, I'll be happy, obviously. I was like, okay, but I want to hear like what's going on. So after she's turned the screen, she goes, congratulations, there's a baby. I'm like, I jumped out of the seat, literally went in there and started looking at the screen, moved out to the side and whatever. And like, you can see little man just twirling side to side. And I was like, I knew it. Like, it was a blessing because all these other things are pain, all this negativity, the pain and wherever, I knew it was not going to be true. You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine believing that. What would have been the outcome if you had gone through those processes? Little man now, to this day, where he is right now, I look at him every time when he sleeps and things like that, watch him, even when he's just about in the house, how he acts and so on. I'm like, these people were literally trying to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had believed everything they said, gone through the process and so on, what would I have been right now without him in that sense?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's like, it was a blessing, man, honestly. Like,
and then at the point where he was born, how did you feel?
Like, it was so surreal, man.
The
like,
joy must have been.
I've seen films, I've heard from people, I've seen, obviously, been to the pregnancy of, birth of my siblings and things like that. But to be actually there and say, this is me, part of me, it was like an eye opener for me. Like, kind of changed my whole perception of life, growing up, choices. You know, priorities and things like that. Even like the past couple of years, I really have literally isolated myself, I should say, and just focus on what's important. Where it be like starting up my life better, making sure his life is getting better, our relationship life is getting better. Just important things, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it was a journey, the learning curve, because like there was never going to be anyone I could have gone to and said, look, how did you do this? How did it happen? I had to learn and adapt my own way. So
Ade, in regards to, you said you didn't have your dad around on a regular basis.
No.
So what was that like for you in terms of growing up? Did you feel like it affected you? Because what I want to eventually get to is who was you looking at in terms of how do I become a father? What are the things I'm supposed to do? What shouldn't I be doing? And who's going to be there to guide me when, like you said, I'm learning and potentially making mistakes as well. So, but before we get into that, and just talk to me about your relationship with your dad.
Right now, we are on a, how can I say, kind of like a sometimes communicating situation now. I don't know, obviously, how it should normally be, but that's how I've obviously accepted it to be, like, because obviously he wasn't around predominantly most of my life. Certain aspects happen, you know, and so on, which I don't want to go into too much into it, but you know, but yeah, like the birthday's been missed, no gifts, calls, you know, those things that you feel like your father should do and so on.
Was he still together with your mum?
No.
Okay.
They I can't even remember when they stopped the relationship, I should say. It was I was probably like 9 or 7 between that time.
And so then he just left after that and...
No, like, so to get into it, basically, he was deported.
Okay.
That obviously affected the family, broke the home in a way. And certain situations happens where both parties were mature enough, I should say, to discuss in a manner where it benefits the children. And that's affected, obviously, communication from both barriers. So, father not I don't know, trying his most to obviously try to interact and see how the children are doing, how I took it as anyway. He's got his reasons, which he's explained to me, and I've accepted, I've grown up to it now. It is what it is. And yeah, just how, I don't know.
Did he have a new family?
Not that I was aware of, not at all. It was only of recent, I then found out he's gonna marry somebody else, but that's recent anyway. But before that, all time, I never heard anything about outside the home situation, anything like that. It was just that he got obviously deported, and yeah, my mum was the person that was really just taking care of 3 kids and so on, and being the person to, how can I say, mentor us, man us if that's the case. You know, everything that's required as a father and a mother. So when you talk about who did I look to in terms of how to get that sort of, I don't know, interaction, I feel no one, honestly. I had uncles around and so on, that were around at times. There was an uncle that recently passed. I'm sure you saw my Insta. He was kidnapped in Nigeria, sadly. He was like there's many people that were pinnacle parts of my life that showed me a lot of, you know, learning and how to become responsible, not do things that shouldn't be done in a sense. And so those little things added to me. But also as we were growing up and certain things and mistakes we made, again, that's all childish life that we had. That stupid life, I should say. Thank God without that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that kind of, I don't know, impacted me in a way as well, where I didn't have to look for a father, because we just had like a brotherhood in a sense, and we were just hanging around and doing what it is and chilling. And then having my mom constantly telling me stop hanging around and so on was more of my safety net, and a alarm to say, look, stop what it is. It might go left, change your way. Thank God it did change, and it didn't lead to something that it didn't have to go to. But yeah, like I really can't say I had anything to go to or to speak to and say, look, be my father figure. You know what I'm saying? I've just had to deal with it myself.
So now that you're a dad, in regards to, have you always just been, you know what, I'm just gonna learn on the job, and there is no kind of model around this to look up to?
Yeah, it's hard. It's tricky for me. It's very hard because, again, like, it was just dropped on my lap. Like the whole fatherhood situation, I accepted and embraced it as much as I can. I'm very grateful I've got to this stage now, and it's all thanks to God, because there's so much avenues and things that would have turned me left. Financial, depression, all that sort of stuff. But being consistent, having, I don't know, time to myself as well. Seeing the abundance, the love, and the so amazing, you know, grace that I get from my son is what is the light, and it's like it's guiding me in a way. So look, I want to get you into ways and do things which I didn't get to do. I played football as a little kid only because my friends were playing football. No, a choice like my parents decided to say, okay, let me get you into activities and so on. And again, I don't know what their concept or what they were, and not to knock them in a sense. Like, my mum tried as much as possible and so on. I'm grateful for her. But for me now, all those sort of things that I lacked, I should say, I'm trying to make sure he doesn't lack. So whether it be great education, making sure he's with the right people, getting into activities, not being lazy, not like controlling, like just
giving him the values.
Like those sort. Bro. Exactly. Like, I feel like he just clicked, and I said, okay, Addy, you didn't get that, so clearly you don't want him to not get that. You want him to have the right, you know, stages and you know, practice in life and so on. Okay,
my question to you is, we grew up in a period where our parents were working very hard, and a lot of the time that hard work equated to time.
That's what I'm saying.
So I remember mum being at the house for many hours, you know, and we have to kind of fend for ourselves. Obviously we do what we need to do to keep the house tidy, keep the house clean, because you know when they come home and the house is scattered, and you haven't brought the chicken out the freezer.
Why is the dishes not done? Why is everything? It's crazy, bro.
And then obviously, you know, because now like she'll start moaning and she'll start complaining, and that can go on for hours. So you try to do everything you can, so it's like when she comes home she can rest, and so on and so forth. But there was limited time where you feel like there was actual parenting happening, because obviously you go to work.
Exactly.
So your time that you're actually together it's not great. Do you feel like you might be in danger of repeating that cycle in terms of, obviously, to do all of these things for him?
Yeah.
Activities cost money. Great education costs money if you want to end up paying for it, and so on and so forth. And providing that life experience, being able to travel, because for us, traveling was going to Nigeria maybe every 4 years.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like we went to school every summer holidays, and some of the a lot of the kids who whose parents, especially sort of Caucasians, who obviously this is their home, so they don't have a home to go to. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when they're saving up for a holiday, we're going to Spain. Whereas you're stacking up for 3-4 years and we're going to Nigeria, we're doing it big type of thing. So all I knew about holidays was Nigeria, and that was it. So the idea of Spain and all of these places was when we got old enough to say, let's do that ourselves. So it's like, if you want to now provide that learning opportunity, so for instance, I want to take our daughters to go to, for instance, to the Colosseum, all of these cultural things. So beyond just learning it from a book, actually
physically seeing it.
For you to be able to do that, you need to be okay financially as well. And are you worried about the time balance that you might have, the sacrifice that you might have, which is the time with your son, in order to be able to provide some of these things for him?
I feel what you just said in regards to, obviously, parents constantly being out of the home, whether it be working hard, 3 jobs or whatever, and sort of it has taken an impact on me as well. I see it. Like sometimes I take a step back and I actually realise, Saya comes home, Daddy, straight away, oh, let's do this, and I feel like
you're tired.
Yeah, mentally as well. It's like
drained. You have to muster up the energy to
exactly. This boy is so, like, I'm grateful that he's active, proactive. He can do things, not just a lazy child that sits around and just nothing, whatever. He keeps me on my toes. He keeps me out of that bad habit, which probably was, you know, attained from my parents, in a sense where they were always out, not always interacting and so on. Because again, I don't remember literally sitting down with my parents, or my mum, I should say, and just having that family time, just chilling and whatever. It was maybe just when we're eating, homework, but in terms of just relaxing and chilling, I remember mum used to take us out, like out places and see families and so on. But just having that, okay, you're at home, we're all gonna chill and discuss and so on. That happens now in my life. And my son, he does that. Like, he'll come and sit between us. He'll say, Daddy, let's go do this, let's build a fort. He loves doing all that and so on. I'm like, it's kind of like breaking that habit of, okay, try not to be like what my parents were doing. And now this is a new way, because it's going to benefit him as well, because I don't want to continue that negative cycle. If it's a negative cycle, again, it's time, innit?
I guess it's not, to be at their defense, it's just coming to this country and just trying to survive. Do you know what I mean? And so that was the sacrifice. Who knows if they were conscious of it, knowing that they would like to spend more time or do more potentially, but they just couldn't. And don't forget the pressure of, you're not just providing for yourself and your
people
children
at home as well.
Your phone is ringing off. Plus 2, 3, 4, 1. Do you know what I mean? Somebody's calling you. Christmas time, do Christmas for me. Do Easter for me. Do birthday for me. So you're not just paying your bills here. You got brothers and sisters. You're the ones that have now made it out of that struggle. And so you're now here. So it's like people are now looking for you to now help pave the way. And a lot of our parents they're not going to forget. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's just say you and Foster, for instance. Foster's still back in Nigeria. You have the opportunity to come here. Foster's hollering. He's your brother. You're going to do what you can to send money back home. So from that perspective, it's like, I'll definitely be sending money to my sisters, to my brother, if I'm the one in the situation that had better opportunities. Now, add the fact that I'd have my own family here. So it's like, I'm going to take those extra shifts. Do you know what I mean? And so from that perspective, I understand the struggle. But obviously, we now have to say, okay, we have the consciousness of knowing that we've hopefully taken the great education and that our parents have tried to pump into us, or the hard work ethic. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no excuses in terms of being in this country and knowing that the amount of opportunities that are here. It doesn't have to be just your standard education. There's so many different ways of becoming successful now. So it's like, as long as you're not lazy, you you have to find a way to be able to grind, to be able to do what you need to do for your family.
Of course,
And I think that's the balance of what we need to do, and understand that life is still happening in the moment as we're trying to chase this bag that would hopefully lead us to having that extra time that we want in the future anyway.
Exactly.
But Ade, time is going. I don't want you to leave her without excuses. So let me let you take your next 5 shots.
Alright, let's get this. Let's get this.
Into the conversation.
Cool. Hopefully the winds die down a bit. Yep, that's something. That has to be something.
You happy with that? Did that go straight?
That has to be something. Let's see. Yeah, baby. Why is it sweat? Come on, see? This wind. You see what I'm saying?
You're almost there.
Almost. It's getting on my nerves. I'm telling you, bro. Let me try here.
It is a windy day, bro.
It's a terrible windy day, bro. Yeah, but learning from over there. Why are you going there? That was more than 100%. Bro. Oh wait.
You're hitting it. You're actually hitting it.
But it's accuracy.
We can't score you until you actually get on.
It's a stupid win, bro. That's all it is.
Straight line.
Stupid win. That has to be something. Come on.
I want you to get on this board. Okay, yeah, this is on.
No, the wind's... Look, again. It's too windy. Jolting. Joke! Listen. On the wrong day, maker. Look how windy it is. Look. I'm going to have to...
adjust. You have to work it out. It's been winded since we've been here.
Okay.
Look at that red flag. Yeah, it's definitely...
moving, bro. It's moving.
Okay, that's nice. I can't see it, though.
If it sways this way and comes back to the left. Again, why? If I hit it too high, it's gonna, And look at that, 202. No, 198. Oh man.
I don't know what you need to do.
Alright, I'm gonna have to hit like, I'm hitting it up. Look at that.
Yeah, the wind is crazy.
It's crazy today. Let me try this way. Yeah, that was appalling.
Look, it registered that one.
Yeah, of course, 0 yards. Stupid thing, bro. Eddie, let's
Alright,
go.
so as we can sort of talk and play at the same time. So now that your son is at this particular age, what are some of your fears and anxieties about his development, and obviously knowing where we grew up as well?
Yeah.
Does that come into mind? Are you one of these people that you're thinking, you know what, as he gets older, eventually I want to get out of here?
Oh, 100%, bro. Listen, even like, listen.
So like, I need to get out of Hackney because I don't want him to enter those teenage years in the same area that we knew. Because half of the things that we went through, I think like, if our parents knew what was happening,
oh man,
they would have gone back to Nigeria. They would have just
I would have had
the goal.
Listen, I would have first class tickets back to Niger, bro. If she found out so much stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
Listen, like for me.
So what are your anxieties? What are your fears? Knowing that you could be doing a great job as a father, doing your responsibility, but somewhere down the line there are other young people who are in care, who are not receiving that love and support. Some people who might have great homes, but obviously have just chosen to be part of this particular lifestyle, and so on. And so we've seen the dangers. What are some of your anxieties of raising a young black boy in Hackney right now?
I feel like, because, like, even I'll give a circumstance. Yesterday I came back from work. Now, I'm in a positive mood, whatever, I'm listening to music, whatever, got my big headphones on. I'm on the overground train. Some young black boy came off one of the stations onto the train now, and I'm leaning on one of the poles where, like next to the seat. I'm just minding my business. This boy comes now, he's gone like this, like tapped me hard to push me, and then sat on the chair. I wasn't blocking the chair. I'm thinking to myself, if I was another person right now,
that we've got a problem.
It would have been a problem.
But
I'm thinking, what's in his mind for him to go and do that? Like, what is wrong with this guy? I've come to understand that obviously they've got plugs there, so he wants to plug it there. But instead of him asking, excuse me, it's the way he did it. So falls like that. I'm like, is he off his head? But obviously, I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I literally walked away, stood across that way, and so on. Before it comes to circumstance where did this, I don't know what's it on, whatever he's taking, and so on. So, in respect to that, it's like, even how I walk through the streets and so on, I've even taken it upon myself, when I see like a group of young boys, just change my demeanor, like, just be smiling positive and whatever, like, even eye contact. It's like, you don't know what their mindset is like, what they're on, what they've just taken, what their situation is, because I don't want to be a victim. I don't know what they're thinking, like, how they act and so on. So like, with that, my son, even like my youngest brother, I've taught him now just how he presents himself when he's walking around, how he dresses, color codes, certain like bags and whatever. So wear what you want, but understand when you're in a situation or an environment, be aware that these boys aren't thinking logically to say, is this boy a part of something? They might see you from back and say, oh, and they just do stupidness. That's how they are. So how I'm training Sire now is just like, to be respectful, obviously. I'm worried like, okay, he might meet certain people that might be a part of a situation, because naturally, I think people do anyway. It's very hard, but I don't want him to feel that he can't be comfortable in his area. Because he's got a lot of young friends around. Even when he goes to park, he's very playful with people, meets new people and so on. But it's then, am I going to be all right with him growing in this area, knowing that there could be a possibility? As much as I try and determine a way and just install various positives and things for him and so on, what if he strays away and gets influenced and so on? Because I feel more time, some of these boys are scared. They don't want to be in that situation. But it's peer pressure. It's like, if you don't do it, this, and worries and so on. So they don't feel that they can come out and leave that situation alone. So it's a challenging factor because I don't know what the outcome would be. I'd rather him not be around that, be in a nice area. I don't know where, because you hear it from other areas as well. It's not only just because it's Hackney or London, it's other parts of the country and so on.
So does that now leave the question of, rather than trying to escape, do we stay and fight within the community to try and change? Or do you think we're too far gone and we can't save everyone, and I have a responsibility for my son, and that's all that matters in the immediate?
I have a responsibility for my son. Any circumstance he gets himself into will be on my back. Because it's not only going to change his life, it's going to change my life, it's going to change the rest of the family's life and so on. In regards to changing people or changing situations, I've come to accept that most of these people have just gone. So past turning back situation and wherever. I'll give you a time where I was speaking to Sean, your uncle. This was before that Marcel Bell was stabbed and killed in our area. And literally, I don't know if you ask him that, he'll remember, we were discussing something that was so radical, bro. So radical to like deter this whole situation. And I feel like it has to be a radical situation that needs to happen for wherever all these circumstances happening to stop immediately. And it has to be an official situation where police, government, officials get involved and so on, and community leaders and so on, because you can't talk to them. When you see them on CCTV going to do their madness, they look like a pack of wolves going hunting, and they don't care. From the time they got knives the size of this, willing to put in you so many times that they don't care. How are you gonna reason with someone like that? You understand?
Yeah. So at that point, we're now talking about intervention.
Yeah.
Intervention is always harder than prevention. Do you know what I mean? Because the mindset are already what they are.
Yeah, of
Some
course.
of these young people are not ready to now think about opportunities that might be out there for them. And so what they know is what they know, and this is how they're going to go about it. I'm more talking about the generation who are still innocent.
Yeah.
Because a child that might be 8 years old right now, all they know about is playing, going to the park. All right. Fast forward just 6 years. I'm not even saying 10 years.
No,
Before I
imagine.
say 10 years. By the time they're 18,
They're already-
the corruption's happening.
exactly.
We're now talking about 14-year-olds dying on the streets. Do you know what I mean? My daughter's 2 years away from being 14. It's like I couldn't even start
Bro,
to fathom
listen.
what parents who've gone through that, the ultimate loss, are going through. But is there a sickness within the community that hasn't challenged the violence enough?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
And is some of what we call culture, i.e. the music, i.e. the instant glorification of money, for instance, how we spend it, how we make other people who don't have it feel, how we use social media to potentially alienate people to a false sense of reality.
Yeah.
So everyone's now trying to acquire it any way that they can, including some of these young people who are obviously going through the streets to get it. What can we do to make sure 8-year-olds today, all right, are still children in 6 years' time, and we're not here talking about going to funerals of 14, 15, 16-year-olds? Because there's something that's happening within the environment that's shifting young, innocent children
into that sort of avenue.
Into that particular avenue. Again, people are always saying, are we looking at the music? Are we looking at the culture? Are we looking at the parents? Is it the education system that is fast tracking and kicking some of these young people out of school, leaving them feeling hopeless? But ultimately, something needs to be done, because like you're saying, you could be doing your job.
Yeah.
Your responsibility, everything you should be doing at home as a father. But then somewhere down the line, somebody else isn't, who might interact with your son and potentially sway your son off track.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's like, so for me, it's hard to have these conversations to the point of what can we do on a mass scale.
Well,
on a mass scale, because on a one-to-one scale, it's like I can meet a young person and I can try and motivate, and I can give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
We now have a testimony.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was like this, he's now like that. But that's one story. How do we now have a system and a policy in place where there's thousands of testimony, and then this is now going back to young people, children just being children?
As I said, the most radical way to put it is to take them off the streets, bro. You literally have to think you deep. I don't know what the statistic was when lockdown happened, how many stabbings and violence in terms of gang violence had happened and so on. But I don't think it was that much in comparison to when everybody was out now. Where there were, okay, you might have walked down the street and you've seen the people that you wanted to see because of wherever. When everybody was at home and just chilling or going away, you don't see them. So again, it has to be the most extreme form of action, again, mass, where it includes government, officials, leaders, community. Get rid of them off the streets. I'm talking about literally taking them away from their environment, which is obviously where they act and so on.
And take them where?
Well,
Boot camp?
it has to be something. It has to be something like that, because, as you just said, you can speak to 1, 2, 3 people. They might change. Their friends all down there are willing to kill anybody in that area because their friend just got killed last week. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They're talking about putting police on the streets and do this. People will stab someone in front of a police, they don't care. These boys they're gone. You understand what I'm saying? Gone.
Can we afford, as men within the community now, because that's what we are, do you know what I mean? So we're not teenagers anymore. We're now in these positions where we now have to be part of the change.
Of course.
So
Like-
can we give up on them and just concentrate on what we're doing at home? Because again, I always come back to it, because our children, you can't hold Sai's hand every day.
Exactly, I know.
He has to leave your presence at
Exactly,
some point.
exactly.
And then eventually he will now be put in situations where he has to make a decision. And then that's when we see where your parenting lies in regards to whether, if you've done what you need to do, then he has a choice to make. So whether he makes the right choice or the wrong choice, you've done your job. And that's how you can sleep at night. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if you haven't put those foundations in place, and then opportunity comes, and then somebody is now saying stuff to him, and then it's now an easy choice to go over there, because you haven't put in the time that you needed to put in to put those values in place for him, and so he goes over there. So you now might have regrets. But if you've done what you need to do and the choice comes, you now have to hope that, okay, I've done what I need to do, that my son's going to make the right choices, even in my absence. Do you know what I mean? And it always goes back to that scene, Boys in the Hood, probably seen
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne, my man's friend's been killed.
Yeah, and he
alright?
speaks to his son and tell, yeah.
Exactly. So he's got the strap now, and then the dad comes into him and says, "What are you going to do with that?" Obviously, he hugs his son, and then his son goes into the room. Next thing you know, he's climbed out the window.
Yeah.
And so obviously, Lawrence Fishburne is just there with the balls. There's nothing else I can do now.
Exactly.
So for me, the powerful thing that happens next is that he's in a car with the rest of them.
And he makes that wise that's what
Let
I'm
me
saying.
out.
That's what I'm saying. Look, it's
Let
like
me-
it's
let me
this.
out. Let me
It's
out.
remember I said to you about it's the fear. There's a lot of them that don't want to be in that circumstance.
Yeah.
I can talk on my experience where, again, you feel like you're involved because you don't want to be seen as something.
Yeah.
But inside yourself, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's that having that courage, and if you've got someone obviously reminding you and constantly building that, empowerment of saying, okay, you have control. You can either go down that way and see what the circumstances are going to be and the consequences of that, or you listen to the wise advice, how to control yourself and choose wisely.
Yeah.
And it's now down to you. As you said, he might not have done it straight away, but eventually realised the consequences would have been so much more than, okay, I've then got back to it and so on.
Yeah.
So, like with these young boys, it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't feel you can talk to them. They've gone past that level of talk, this age group and whatever. It has to be something extreme. I don't know what the extreme needs to be, but that has to be something.
Come on.
It has to be something. Why? It's wind. I'm hitting like this, bro. I don't care no more. Yeah, like, because even how I walk around these boys when I'm just walking down the street, I worry, like, I don't know if this guy's in the right state of mind. He might feel, or listen, I've been wherever.
Yeah.
I'm an innocent boy, I don't know you, and it could be in circumstances. Again, my son, I could show him so much things, teach him so much ways. As you said, he might now walk past wherever, someone might not look at him right, or he might not look at him right, wherever it may be, and it turns to some other situation.
Yeah.
So, it's hard, man. It's a hard one. That's gonna hit the net.
Did that hit the net? I can't.
Yeah, I think it hit. Yeah, it hit the net. Because this is appalling.
You need a compass, they say.
Look, swaying that way now.
Yeah. So your body angle needs to now just be a bit more 90 degrees.
Was that my last one?
Yeah. Keep going. You've got 8 minutes. I'll let you keep taking shots. We need to get you your scoreboard.
Alright, cool. That was something.
So in terms of parenting styles with you and your partner, do you clash?
Yeah, there's a clash. There's a clash, bro. I think it's my Nigerian ways as well, and my stern way. I'm stubborn. My boy, certain people will tell you I'm a stubborn person. Like, I like certain ways happening and certain things happening in a way.
Keep going.
Yeah, there's a clash, bruv. Like, she's playful, cool. When I remember we said, I could go home and I just want to relax.
Yeah.
And just chill wherever.
Yeah.
She be the person more playful with him and so on.
Yeah.
I'll do that at times, but to a certain extent, like, okay, chill now. Chill now. But even like certain ways we say, look, consequences of you not listening, you got time out. Consistency of those stuff.
Yeah.
Might swear at times. We'll say to him, okay, I've got his tablet and his devices obviously on specific times, so he knows, okay, when it's time to come off it and so on.
Yeah.
I'll come home, the boy will be on it for more than what he requires.
Yeah.
Then when I come in now and I start doing this, it's like the whole house is hot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's finding that level. Sometimes I step back. You know, this is again me learning as a father and as a man and so on.
Yeah.
You just let it be. It's not always going to be the way you want it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's going to go that way.
Keep racking those shots off quick.
That's going to go that way.
6 minutes, boy.
All right, cool. And I bet you that's the one. Take a few deep breaths. Getting into the mojo now. Where'd that go? Look at that! Come on!
Is it swaying?
Come on!
Are we on?
Come on!
We're on.
Boom!
You're on.
Why is it going back? Why is it going back? 193.
193.
Cuz, I'm smacking that, bro.
You're second place now.
193.
Finally, we made it.
Come on.
I can't leave here without.
That has to be something.
Yes.
193.
Oh, yeah,
What?
Hey. Off the grid.
Exactly.
So yeah, so what else? What kind of clashes? What else in terms of discipline, for instance? Are you on the same page when it comes to discipline?
I'll say 60% or 70% of the time, yeah.
Okay.
He knows obviously when he's done something bad or whatever, he has to go on timeout, and we both say that.
Yeah.
When he's not getting ready and things like that, we both say, okay, look, you're not going to come, or whatever it is that we've planned for you, it's not going to happen no more, because he knows there's a consequence of that.
Yeah.
Again, it's just, oh, that's gone that way. Look at that. Yeah, like, I'll say it's 60-70% of the time, yeah.
Okay.
It might be just little odd times where we're clashing, like, I said for him to do this, why are you changing? I told him not to do this, while you're telling him to, like, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, this causes issues at times, but it is what it is.
Let's see if you can.
Oh, that was a terrible one. I can get 200, I know I can, bro.
In terms of success as a father, what do you want when it's all said and done to look back? And so before you answer that, when your son is your age now, or is now a man, what kind of relationship do you want to have with him when he's a man? And then what does success look like as fatherhood?
I want him to know I'm going to be the best advisor. Obviously, God first.
Yeah.
But whenever he needs that mental advice or that man advice or whatever it is, he knows he can come to me at any time without worries of, okay, can I speak to my dad about this?
Yeah.
Whoa, that was dead. Or not. And not have that worries of fear.
Yeah.
Because I think I never had that. Like, I wanted to speak to my dad about something.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm more likely to speak to my mum or my siblings. You know what I'm saying? But I want him to have that sort of respect. Like, yeah, my dad did everything possible.
Yeah.
He's the guy, like, I admire, I want to strive to be like, or so on, or even better.
Yeah.
He understand he's made mistakes and so on, but he's learned and he's changed. You can see that he's tried his utmost to put me in positions mentally, physically, so I'm right in life, so I can then pass that on to my children and so on. You know, I don't want to be seen to, you know, them type of fathers that, you know, them ones and.
Yeah.
But yeah, not like that. So just someone that he can look up to and just respect.
Okay.
Best friend, but just understand there's respect of father. There's consequences whatever you do, and I feel I show that to him now. As long as he is now, understand. Look, whatever happens, you always have to understand there's going to be a circumstance or consequence of it where you have to accept it and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it is.
Nice one, man.
Trust.
You done it?
193.
We can record.
Bro, I want to get more, bro. Let me get no.
Off, bro. There's nothing else for you to be. Nothing's being recorded, so you can hear as loud as you want. There's nothing recorded.
All that time, you know. Stupid win.
Well, 193. Love, my brother.
Come on. Anytime.
Thank you,
anytime.
man.
Anytime.
Right. Keep working.
Blessings.
An evening honouring fathers, the book launch of Ikenna, a novel by Emeka Ebonu, at the Clapham Grand in Clapham Junction. You don't want to miss this. It's on Sunday, the 5th of February 2023. Performing and speaking on the night, we've got George the Poet, Jermaine Jackman, Courtney Brown, The Humble Penny, Kelly Reid, Ovyoki, Mazi Obiokoli, Joey Braddock, Davis Williams, Abraham Mane, Ebena Noel Larby. More education, and your host Clinton Codd. Early bird tickets are £20, standard tickets are £25, storiesbyemeka.com.